This is the Mohsin Mortgage Program with Sarah Mohsin. Mohsin Mortgage is licensed in several states for residential and commercial purchases and refinancing. Call 800-662-9550. And now, here's your host, Sarah Mohsin.
Great to be back here again, folks, and really fantastic being here with our listeners in Boston. And certainly, we are licensed in multiple states, so it's wonderful to always bring in special guests, good friends, and always laughter on air, off air, with Karen, our producer, and then Michael Lombard, a really terrific guy and very gifted in the fashion design industry. Michael, wonderful to have you here with us today.
Oh, same here. Thanks for having me.
Oh, no, it's a pleasure, really. We were talking a little bit about finance. You're from Maryland, right?
Yes.
So we are licensed in Maryland, and property values in Maryland are up like they are in every state.
Yes.
And home ownership is a huge benefit to every single person. Rates matter. Saving money matters. You're a business owner. Yeah. Tell me a little bit about what you do, what type of fashion design work you're involved in. I know you're involved with celebrities as well, and there's a big show coming up on Saturday.
Yeah, well, I'm actually in town for the Vogue Fashion Runway, which is a Project Runway show sponsored by Mercedes-Benz. So that's what I'm here for. Mm-hmm. The style of designer that I am is I do leather. Yeah. But high-end leather. I don't do the low end. I do high-end, which is pretty much based on like sheepskin or calfskin leather. The really hard leather to find. And I just kind of craft it into beautiful pieces. And as you know, Sarah will probably tell you the story on how she found me, probably in a little while, discovered me, but which is a pretty cool story. But so what I do is I kind of I do a lot of motorcycle leather jackets, but I take a classic and make it modern. So I put a modern take on a classic.
Yes. Because
they never go out of style. I mean, motorcycle jackets have been in style, have been around since 1929. Marlon Brando wore it. I mean, just whole
vintage
nine.
Stuff
yes, vintage, cool. Yeah.
Yes.
So, but now I'm venturing into, leather dresses and leather pants and anything leather. I'm trying to corner that market.
High end. Like that's what I like about the work that you do, because we work with celebrities as well, and I bring on air a lot of celebrities who are not only in wellness but in your area, fashion. People say, well, how does that tie in? Well, I love fashion. I wanted to be a fashion designer. That was my original plan. Yeah. Here we are. Apparently didn't work. So I went to school. My first year of college was based on fashion design, and it just I wasn't very good at it. I loved it. I loved to buy clothes. And I met you in New York. I saw your designs, went to your show there, and I thought it was phenomenal. And the tie-in really is being self-employed, being a business owner.
Yes.
And knowing, and you're a great entrepreneur because you have great energy. I was talking to my brother about that. And I love to surround myself with people that are positive, that are bringing together a great group of models, as well as people that are a part of your company, because you are targeting all age brackets.
Yes.
Very well put together leather jackets, dresses, pants. We're not just talking about just patching it together. They're handmade. They're beautiful. And also to be able to finance a business. How does someone who's self-employed manage that? And that's largely questions that we get also from our listeners over the last 14 years. So I do encourage folks to call us 1-800-662-9550. The Project Runway Vogue show is happening Saturday around 6 p.m. Crystal Ballroom, is that correct?
Crystal Ballroom, yes.
And I'll be attending. I'm grateful to be able to cover it, and thank you for that. I appreciate Michael.
Anytime. I always tell her she's welcome to all of my shows. She's just amazing.
Just send me the plane ticket.
I'll just say she didn't go to my Amsterdam show last week, but
so sad.
Yeah, I know. She was busy.
Busy working, paying the bills.
Exactly.
And we talked a little bit about Maryland, because it's funny. We are licensed as a family-owned business. We're a small business, and you are also very small yet big in respect to reaching different parts of the world. And ownership of homes in Maryland and mortgages is something that we see interest rates that are in the 5s, the 4s. Rates are really, they could go down to the 3s even for individuals. For business owners to even refinance and save, if you saved $1,100 a month, that is like $300,000 in interest. You could generate that capital and reinvest it in your business. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
I do.
That's how you look at it. Because we've talked about money and numbers and how it affects your growth, right? But your driving force is when you're doing those shows and you have those beautiful, beautiful jackets, Michael. The reality is that you have to move quickly. Time is moving. You have to like redo designs, change designs, be more creative. And then you have these wonderful pieces. So how does someone reach out to you and if they wish to purchase or contact you about these jackets?
Okay, yeah. Well, you said a lot, and I could respond to almost all of it. First, let's do the last question. You can definitely go to my website, which is www.michaellombard, 2 L's, MICHAELLOMBARD, michaellombard.com. And there you can purchase pretty much everything. Not all of my collections on there yet, because I kind of like to put it out a little at a time, kind of makes the crave for the, the want for it a little bit more.
Yes.
But that's where you can get it from. You can also follow me on Instagram, michaellombard_designer.
Thank you. Thank you for following me.
Yeah.
I have like 12 followers. He goes, no, you have 4. We just laughed about it. He has 43,000 followers. I'm like, who are these people?
Yeah. Hopefully to have 100,000 by the end of the year. That's like my goal, and then we'll go from there.
Very good, yeah.
But I think to tie in with being a small business entrepreneur, and we did talk about mortgages and financing, and a lot of times and I'll take it from the design world. A lot of times designers, a lot of them are emerging designers or up and coming, and a lot of times they don't have the funds or family that have money to invest in them, and that's where they fall by the wayside because they can't be seen.
Yes.
They can't get their designs made.
Pursue their dreams.
Pursue their dreams mostly, and if you have a good backbone and a structure from earlier in life, like for me, for instance, I had IRAs, a whole lot of different things that I could pull money from to start my business, and said, well, if I lose it, I still have some money left. And I'm always been a risk taker, so I jump out there anyway and do things sometimes without thinking about it. But I jump in, and actually fashion wasn't something I thought about. I jumped right in it because I knew I had the talent. Yeah. But I kind of just jumped right in it, and it just happened to work. But
it does work. I love the show in New York, and I love fashion, so it really popped. Like, it really hit you. It was like, wow. So, what's happening tomorrow with Project Runway Vogue Fashion, it's sold out, and largely due to you, Michael Lombard. And
yes, I agree.
Yeah, and so I'm really looking forward to it. It's happening here in Boston, folks, so if you are looking to buy jackets or you want to meet him, you may be able to do that if he has time.
Yeah, definitely.
We're at the Crystal Ballroom. It starts around 7 p.m. Earlier on, I think 6-ish is when people kind of do a meet and greet. But encourage you to ask questions on our show, the number 1-800-662-9550. Michael's a really dear friend of mine. He has great energy. I love being around people like you because you really bring out the best in everyone.
Well, thank you. Yeah. And I was telling her, I drove 7 hours here. First place I got, I had 3 hours of sleep and said, oh, I'm going to drive. I have all these bags. And then I'm so low energy. And then I see Sarah and I get high energy, hey! So as soon as the show's over, I'll have low energy.
You'll be like, but again, folks, ask questions, fashion and finance. I love the fact that as an entrepreneur, you have that backing and understanding of finance, and certainly you live in Maryland. That's another state that we're licensed in. We work with over 50 wholesale lenders, so we get people approved. Entrepreneurs, especially who look at being self-employed, it's difficult because when you look at retail banks, they just say no. They're not looking for anything other than someone who has, enough money, very low debt, and perfect scores. Well, I'm totally not perfect, so I don't expect anyone else to be perfect because that just wouldn't be fun, was it? No. It really wouldn't.
No, not at all. And that's, once again, the problem with most designers that are starting off. They don't have really good credit or any means to walk into a bank, and banks aren't looking for them.
Yeah.
So,
and we have to wrap up, but certainly, folks, call us. Michael Lombard, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And the number here, 1-800-662-9550. Stay well, folks.
This has been the Mohsin Mortgage Program with Sarah Mohsin. Mohsin Mortgage is licensed in several states for residential and commercial purchases and refinancing. Call 800-662-9550.